Hey, what's up guys, ChristopherBrekke here, and here's going to be a new type of video for you guys. As you can see, I have 3 pieces here, don't mind that one. Never mind that one, that's my own. But there's 2 cases right here. This one's a shell right here, and I have this one I just got off OfferUp for just $100. And then we're going to turn this into a full-fledged gaming PC. Super cheap too. It's going to be a new type of video. Not sure if this will be a trend or anything, but I just wanted to try it out, and let's see how it goes.
Now you might be asking me, what's the point of this video, Chris? You already have a PC, why'd you get another one, and why are you building another one? Really. Now the point of this is to really show you that PC gaming does not have to be expensive. You choose your own budget, and when you go on the used market, there is some good deals to find there. With all used things, you might be taking a gamble, but there are a lot of good people out there who just want to get it off their hands. And so you can find good deals like that because this PC contains an AMD FX 6300, which is actually a really good entry-level CPU with an Asus motherboard and a Kingston 8GB DDR3 RAM with 1600 megabytes. Not bad at all. I mean, you can get probably some medium to low settings, maybe not all the time 1080p, but you can get some pretty good things with that. And a lot of the time, they will beat out a console. I mean, that's actually better than my first build, and I paid like $400-500 for that, considering the price. Now, I'm just gonna have to slap in a graphics card. We'll see what happens.
Neon on the blacktop. There's a gentle rain downtown, a shadow pooling underneath me as it follows on the ground. Kissed you when I saw you, stared deep into your eyes. I meant to say I love you, but instead I said goodbye. Shadows in the city. I'm a stranger to myself. On these streets I'm someone else. Shadows in the city. Like a demon in the dark, come to tear us apart. Neon City.
Alright guys, and that was the $280 PC build. Well, I didn't mention that at the beginning because, well, there are actually a few things I didn't mention at the beginning. Well, this case was a case I already had before, so it already saved me some money right there. The power supply, originally, that was actually part of my main rig, but I couldn't find any good deals on cheap power supplies for the used build, so what I did is I bought a new power supply for my main rig, and I just put the other one in my used rig. Luckily, EVGA has a midweek madness sale, which you can basically get really good power supplies for super cheap anyways. So either way, you'd be paying around the same amount for, you know, cheaper power supply. But if you're looking to have upgradability on your power supply, I would recommend EVGA's midweek madness. Here are the specs I didn't mention in that because I didn't have them at the time of recording the other part of it. Originally, I was looking for either a 1050 or 1050 Ti, or maybe even doubt I was probably going to find it, but even a really cheap 1650 to go along with it. But what I ended up finding out, let me see if I can take this off, an RX 470, which from what I hear, from the test numbers, are actually better than a 1650 anyways, so that does a pretty good job. I found that what was it, Facebook Marketplace, someone was selling it for $90. I haggled them down to $85, $5 off. Not much, but still something. Originally new, that would be like 100 something if I remember right. I'll have the numbers up on screen. And then I also, for storage, I did put a 240 gigabyte SSD. Why didn't I go with 1 terabyte SSD for around the same price? Well, SSDs are a lot faster, and if you want room for expansion later, you can either get an internal hard drive, or you can just pay, I think, around $60 or something like that for an external 1 terabyte hard drive, in which you can take that around really anywhere, to be honest, and I think that's a lot better than having it internal. Going on to those benchmarks, I used Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Friday the 13th, and Dragon Ball FighterZ. 3 completely different kinds of games. One game that's very highly demanding, one game that's not very well optimized, and the other one which is basically any kind of system can run it if you have a potato or not. But though I chose those 3 kind of special variety of games for a reason. Now, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, this I couldn't get it to high settings, but I did get it to normal settings, and then I had to mess around with some stuff, and it did average out around 40 FPS most of the time. But then there was other times when things were getting really busy on screen, it would really start digging down on the frame rate. But an easy fix to that is putting down the resolution, or you can even put it down to low settings on 1080p, which in contrast to a console, it normally runs on 900p at 30 frames per second. So I find that as a win for only spending $280 on this. Yeah, the next game, Friday the 13th, the game, I did choose this one. Like I said, it was not very well optimized on the PC unless you have a really good rig. But I did do offline play where it would stress out the CPU a little bit more. Now, why does it stress out the CPU? Because it has to control the AI. Now, the AI, I put it on normal to kind of be with it. But on the settings, I did put it on 1080p high settings for a second, but that became really unstable, so I did put it down the normal settings, which that very well did start, normalizing itself, and it started averaging around 45 to 50 FPS per thing. But then if it would get really busy on screen, it would go really down to like 30 or even 25 frames per second. I think it was a little bit lower than that, but as of what I remembered it was getting really down there, in which those are just kind of hiccups that go along with it. Again, that's just because it was offline play, and it did really have to stress out the CPU and the conditions I was under the map. It was stressing out the GPU as well, because on MSI Afterburner, the GPU usage was 100% either way. So they were both getting pushed to the limit on that game. Now the next game, Dragon Ball FighterZ, I chose this game because I just want to see if there was going to be any hiccups in either the GPU or the CPU. I doubt the GPU was going to get any hiccups. I was just kind of curious on the CPU, because sometimes that game can get very busy. Now, I just did a quick one-on-one fight just to see how things go. Because I was like, decent CPU, let's see how it goes. And it did do 60 FPS. Very, very well. I mean, I had literally no problems with this game at all. And you just average, like, if every version of this game was going to have the highest settings either way. Like, there was no way you can make it look really bad without messing it up that bad, unless you're running a potato on this thing. But for $250, $280, I mean, $280 in total, this whole thing, I think that's a very good deal for a used system that does outbeat a console. One thing I did forget to mention was, in total, what this thing is worth, if you were to buy all these parts new online, it would be averaging a little bit over $500, and that is not even including a Windows 10 install on it. So on $280, you are getting more than a $200 discount off of it. Now, a console, on the other hand, I think they are down to $300 if I remember right. They're around $300, $250 right now. At least compared to the base versions of the Xbox One and PS4, I do think this is a very good buy. I really made this video to really show you guys that it does not take too much. Like, it's going to take some time, but you can find really good deals on PC gaming, because a lot of times consoles are made just to play games and have their little apps and everything. PCs, they're not just there to be playing video games unless you want them to. But most of the time, PCs are more than just a multimedia device. They are productivity devices and everything. So you are paying a little bit of a premium for that. That is why, on average, PC games are a lot higher than consoles. But you can, of course, get cheap PCs, just like this one right here for $280. I think that's a good deal. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought, and let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. If I should make more videos like this, let me know, because I'm kind of interested in making these type of videos. This is probably my 5th PC build right now, but I did have a lot of fun making this video in particular. I need a better camera though. I'm using my phone camera, so yeah. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you guys later.
That's how we do it.